Hey guys, it's layout update time. I'm going to be working on the layout over here, and if I already got a few little items changed around here, so I figure I'd document it here with our layout update. And as you can see, I've got a little spray adhesive here. That's for my backgrounds, the mountains and things that I use in the background right there. And I know I've talked about this in the past. Here in the yard, this little mountain background is recycled from another section of the layout. It's one of the earlier printouts I did of a photoshopped photo of the mountains off of my backyard, and these were really, it was a hazy day and stuff like that, and so I had them previously back over here on this side of the layout, but as you can see, these mountains over here are looking a little bit nicer. It was a better day, not that hazy, and so I ended up taking a picture out of my backyard and printing them out, stitching them together and all that, and then they're just printed on regular old paper, and then I kind of had them tacked up a little bit with some just tape right there to let them kind of settle in. And this one here looks pretty good, but one of the newer ones that I did is this one right here, which I think I did probably like at least 6 months ago or something like that. But you can see that some of it, starts to kind of age with the time here in the garage, and the paper starts to kind of settle in and curl and do all that kind of stuff. And I'd like to let it sort of do that, go through a few cycles, let it sit here for a little bit, and then come back and take it off. Like I said, it's just a couple little pieces of tape in the back holding it up temporarily. So the plan for today is to pull all that stuff out and get a good coat of that spray adhesive on the back, and then get it all back up over here. So that's looking nice. And so that's the plan right there. A couple other little updates over here. I did move my ESU cab controller, I guess you call it router, right there. Ooh, it might be a little bit dark right there because it's got so bright out here in Southern California today that I've got the garage doors opened up. But I moved it up here. It used to be actually just sitting under the layout, down underneath here. And that is what the controller actually connects to. It's basically just a little Wi-Fi router and power distribution. So power comes out the back there on the two wires right there and goes down to the track underneath. But I recently decided to, or I had an extra computer lying around. So let me swing around this way without being too shaky right here, but I have an extra computer, and what I'm going to do is run JMRI on this thing and connect it directly to the ESU system. So since that's just a Wi-Fi router, I can connect up to it and then run JMRI on the computer and use it for operations and even additional throttles, things like that. Software throttles on your phone, and kind of play around with that stuff. So that's just a little bit of an update, but let's get back to the backgrounds here. So I'm going to start working on that. Basically, we got one train over here that's just going to pull out of here. We're not going to watch that right now, but I got to get this stuff out of here because I'm going to do the backgrounds here and get them kind of looking a little bit better, and the backgrounds coming out of the yard over there. So that's the plan. Spray them up and get ready to go right there. Once I get them sprayed up, kind of tap them back up and then get them all nice and straight out on the background. Alright, so first off, I'm just going to get rid of some of the scenery right here. Got a few palm trees and little bushes, not much over here, but that's the plan, is to kind of get in here and start cleaning it up and kind of getting a little bit more scenery done on here. So I got to carefully take this stuff off. It's the first. Yeah, it ain't coming off too carefully, is it? Get our little palm tree off over here. And again, this stuff's going to go right back in the same spot, so I'm not too worried about ripping the background mountains here. Try to get it off as carefully as I can, but easier said than done. And then what I'll do is take the mountains off. And then we can get to gluing. All right, so I got my little spray set up over here. Just some packing material down on the garage floor right here. I've got the mountain section right there, and I'm gonna get to spraying over here and just coat it, let it sit for 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll go back and start sticking it back up on the background. Let's see how this works. All right, well, we just kind of let it sit over there and let it kind of dry out a little bit. You can see it's making the paper a little wet there. I tried to make sure I got it on the top edge because that's where it starts peeling. So we'll let it dry out and then get to sticking it back up. All right, so what I did was I actually put on the second coat on here and got it moved over here. There's still a few little damp spots, but for the most part, it's pretty dry. Let's go ahead and start sticking it up here. I'm gonna start at the end over here. Try to kind of line it up with the previous spot, and hopefully keep it relatively even here. And I'm gonna have to get in the camera right here just to kind of get it tacked up a little bit. All right, here's where I'm going to use my little spatula, whatever you call it there. Move it around a little bit here. It's not super tacky, so I don't know what the heck. It's not as sticky as I thought it would be, as you can tell. Just comes right back off. Alright. I think what I'm going to have to do is, unfortunately, spray both sides. I was trying to avoid having to spray this, because this is kind of tacky, but not super tacky. You can see it's not that great, but it's just not sticky enough to actually stick to the background here. So I think what I'm going to have to do is put a coat down here to get both sides tacky. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright guys, so I did get it back up here, but it took a little bit of finagling here, and yes, I did have to spray the actual backboard too in order to get it to stick really good. Trying to kind of keep the glue from, you know, outside of there. There's little spots right here where the glue is right there, but boy, that was not fun here. I might still have to touch up, just you can see kind of at the top right there, it's sort of curling over, because I was, again, just trying not to get glue up on the, you know, up above it. But for the most part, got it kind of on there without too many wrinkles and things like that. And I'm not too worried about this little section right here, because I plan on having a mountain sort of scenery right here, a little hill right here that's going to cover up most of this little area. But whew, that was not fun. Yeah, I mean, it's easy enough to do, but you just got to kind of be careful, and trying to get a long piece like that to stick is not the easiest thing to do right there. So I think it'll still be drying out a little bit. You can kind of see the lines where the tape in the background sort of splices the two sections. Right over here is another one, and over there. But I think what will happen is once the glue fully dries, because see, you can kind of see that's tape on the back of the actual printed out paper right there. So we'll see if that fades out a little bit. I think it will. All right, now we'll get the little bottom portion with the little trees and stuff like that. I'll do the same thing, spray that side, and then of course I think I'm gonna have to spray this side too and get that up and running. All right, so what I decided to do here with our little sort of tree background here, since it's pretty small and I don't want to be spraying it and carrying it around and getting it all sticky and everything else, I've got a little piece of cardboard here to protect the track and whatnot. And what I'm going to do is actually spray section by section. So I'm going to spray a little bit of a section right here, and then I can kind of judge where to spray the background to get it at least you know, stuck up there. And I think I'm just going to do it in little spots. I'm not going to spray the entire background here because as this is printed, it's going to get all gooey and everything like that. So I think I'm going to have to be very delicate with just kind of spraying just a little bit over here and getting it stuck up, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to start doing right now. All right, here we go. Oops. This thing tends to want to spray wherever the hell it wants to. Okay, we'll see how I screw this thing up. You see what I mean by being kind of delicate here on where I'm spraying this. I'm kind of trying to judge between these two. And let's see here. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to try putting it up as best I can here to where I think it's supposed to go. And of course you got to keep it even because you don't want to get to the other end and have it all out of whack right there. Well, so far so good. And I don't know if I'll be able to, well, there's a little bit of a glue spot right there. We'll try to keep that out, but I think that's the way we're going to have to do it, is just small section by section. You know what I mean? Kind of fold this down and spray it, and then spray the background here. So I'm going to keep going with that. All right, so I managed to kind of go section by section very delicately here with the lower sort of tree background here. Just doing maybe like, you know, 6-7 inches at a time, and spraying the background here as needed. And then I still got to do a little touch up right there. I think that little section right there needs a little bit more, but for the most part, it looks like it came out pretty good. I don't mind that. We're gonna hide that little mirror image right there of those trees with some actual shrubbery or something like that. But as you can tell, if I take a look at it this way, it's not peeling back or anything like that. So for the most part, I think that was successful. It started getting better as everything. The more I went, the better I got at it and making sure I wasn't spraying too much on the actual background. And as you can tell right here, or maybe you can't, but I did spray a little bit over, so there's a little tackiness right there, but you can't really tell. So just overspraying it a little bit wasn't too bad. So at least that's done. I feel a little more confident to go into the yard there and get the rest of it done. Alright guys, so I'm going to call it right there for this video. That's how I do my backgrounds here, and maybe I'm learning as I'm going here, so you guys can learn with me. And the next step over here is to get a little bit of static grass throughout the area right here. That'll be in the next video, but I've got some white glue right here and different kinds of length grass, colors of grass, I should say. And we'll start doing that next, but hope you enjoyed that. Hit the thumbs up button if you learned anything, or at least enjoyed watching me get flustered. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.